best fight I ever saw, honestly, skill-wise, was a guy by the name of Salvador Sanchez.
Mantequilla.
Sanchez.
Salvador. But I don't see. I don't.
Featherweight champion of the world, Salvador
All right, a split decision.
Do you know the only boxer who won all the fights except one? Yes, it's the one and only Salvador Sanchez. Do you know about the beginnings of his professional career? Are you curious about the strategies that made him win? In this video, we will reveal all about his historical boxing career. Without further delay, let's begin. Salvador Sanchez, known for his unbelievable boxing history, started from 1975 to 1982, which almost spanned more than 7 years, but he was only in his 20s. What was the cause behind the end of his remarkable career? We will reveal it in this video, so keep watching. In his boxing era, he had done a total of 46 fights, with only 1 draw and 1 loss. He started his career at the age of 16 and made his professional boxing debut by defeating Al Gardino via 3rd round KO. From the start, he won 17 consecutive fights, and at the age of 21, after he was done with 35 professional fights, he had his first world title fight against Danny Lopez. Sanchez's professional career was filled with amazing victories and achievements. They are highlighted as having won 2 world titles at featherweight and continuously defended them 9 times.
Sanchez, 21 years of age from Mexico City, is the new WBC featherweight champion.
It includes wins over 3 Hall of Famers, Azuma Nelson, Danny Lopez, and Wilfredo Gomez. He put in a great performance and was included among the top boxers of his generation. Some highlights of the fight include that he defeated the WBC and the ring featherweight titles against Danny Lopez by winning fights via 13th and 14th rounds of TKO.
Never stops. Throws punches from every angle. Round 1 of a scheduled 15-round WBC featherweight championship. Right hand leads it.
Are you not curious about the one defeated fight of Sanchez? Salvador Sanchez was a professional boxer who only suffered 1 defeat. On September 9, 1977, he lost his first fight, a 12-round split decision against Antonio Becerra, ending his 18-fight winning streak. The only boxer to defeat Sanchez is Becerra. On July 21, 1982, at the age of 23, Sanchez engaged in his final professional fight, a featherweight title defense match against Ghanaian boxer Azuma Nelson. He defended his WBC and the ring belts after winning the fight by TKO in the 15th round. Seeing that he was one of the greatest boxers of all time, his defense against Nelson was a credit to his abilities. Sanchez had an iron grip on the featherweight class, despite his relatively young age. But what was even more amazing was the brain power he displayed while doing so. Let's analyze some of the techniques Sanchez used to leave an impression on boxing history. The most crucial element of Sanchez's fighting style may have been his footwork, stability, and balance. He was an excellent counterpuncher, mostly because of this. But did you guys know the significance of footwork in boxing? Yes, a boxer may shift his weight from his back foot to his front foot more successfully if he has strong balance.
Lopez's left eye. He's got trouble looking from that eye. And this kid's smart enough to take advantage of it. He is hurt, isn't he? He's hurt.
But what's the strategy used by Sanchez to win every bout? He demonstrated strong self-efficacy in his ability to step in and out of range because of his good balance and control of his own movement. Sanchez's technique was effective because he kept his knees bent and kept space between his feet, which allowed him to push off and move in diverse directions with ease. Sanchez continued to move by regularly bouncing. Simple as it may be, just one item can have a huge impact since, in this example, moving a body that already has momentum makes it easier to move than a stationary object. Sanchez was able to respond so quickly, both offensively and defensively, in part because of this. After maintaining his momentum from the footwork, he uses low-angle punches by dodging the opponent. The strategic action here he applied is to first use his footwork, maintain body momentum, keep his knees bent, squat down, and rise with a punch with his power hands that will completely surprise the opponent. An opponent dipping down makes one instinctively think he might be going for a body punch, which makes you let your guard down or divert your attention. This makes a clean path for an attack to the head, which is equally hard to follow once you notice one is approaching. Punches that come from low angles always produce this because of their upwardly angled trajectory. But what other strategies would you expect from Sanchez? Let's find out. Sanchez engages the opponent by using the patterns by dipping and coming to him by his left. He would then break the pattern by using the same technique oppositely. Here's an interesting fact to know: which boxer can be defeated easily by Sanchez? So, a boxer who held their gloves below, because they typically rely on their opponent to give them the indications that indicate coming blows, would find it difficult to read Sanchez because of his unconventional feints and dives. Sanchez completely silenced his opponent's attack, allowing them to land a few random strikes. Sanchez achieved this by integrating several defensive strategies at once as opposed to just one, which prevented Sanchez's opponents from ever being able to consistently dominate him. For instance, he would move his head, alter his posture with his feet, and deflect strikes rather than just turning his head. Have you ever noticed how fiercely Sanchez fights, and do you know what his best defensive move has ever been? Sanchez uses the forearm defensive technique, which was his favorite and is used as a barrier against opponent punches. You can easily understand that it is likely the same as the defense shield used by Roman soldiers in ancient times. The strategic action of Sanchez at that moment is bringing his forearm up, bringing his elbow at the height of his chin to block punches, and hence leaving a little chance of it even coming in close proximity to his face. Sanchez, who is always a skilled counterpuncher, would counter with a forearm block. As his opponent's strike struck his forearm, he bent his back leg to build up his counterattack. When you lean back to block a punch, you are essentially playing a feint, since your opponent will initially think you are only using defense, so they will be taken aback when you deliver a punch. Have you thought about what Sanchez's weaknesses are according to his boxing strategies? Yes, if we observe Sanchez's fights, we can notice that he often drops his lead hand when punched, especially after hitting a jab. That gave the opponent a chance to successfully land the right hand on Sanchez. When Sanchez bent forward at the waist and pushed his weight onto his front foot, he would momentarily lose his equilibrium, giving his opponent's right hand the opportunity to get past his guard. But he did not let these things become his actual weakness, and he even can't be defeated through them. He didn't give his opponent even a single chance to take advantage of him. The comments of one of the legendary boxers, Willie Pep, are proof that Salvador Sanchez was a great boxer of all times. He said, "I'm glad that he wasn't around in my era. He was young and abundantly skilled." But, unfortunately, his career ended with a tragic car accident in 1982 at the age of 23. The boxing world and his followers grieved his passing deeply. Sanchez's legacy as one of the best fighters of all time endures because of his 1991 induction into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So, Salvador Sanchez was the greatest boxer of all time, defending his titles 9 times with other noticeable victories over 3 Hall of Famers. Have you ever heard about Salvador Sanchez before? What is the best strategy he used, and what do you like the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time.